This is my little village I built. Over the years, I've tore down many old cypress buildings, barns, chicken houses, and put some of the wood to use like you'll see today. Take a lot of pride in the old cypress. This is the old growth cypress like you see picket cypress. I do use other things, but that's my love, is the old growth cypress. This is one of my first buildings I built as a shed. And over the years, it turned into my woodwork shop, and now you'll see I put a bunch of my crafts in here. I saw this in the magazine, yard dice. So I made a set for my grandkids. This is another piece I made for one of my wife's friends, but this is out of one piece of cypress. So it was a nice big tree, nice wide piece of old growth cypress. All this cypress is out of old barns and old houses I've tore down out of many years. First one I think was a chicken house. Some of my prettiest wood I ever got is red cypress out of a chicken house. That's the cream of the crop right here. This is an old house. It was probably, they tell me the trees could have been 400, 500, 600 years old, minimum. Then it was a house for probably 150 years, 100 years at least. Then I tore it down, so it's some old wood, antique wood, and lasts forever. This one here was, my in-laws had a fish market in Rosedale, Louisiana. And that's why I know these green boards. I went by boat on Bayou Gross Tete and took the rest of the fish market down. It was falling in the bayou, and I created this little shed with it out of old growth cypress again. Love these old green boards. And here's some of the remnants, and I turn them into some things. Some are fish, some are ducks, some could be whatever you want it to be. And then some of the fish, I do very little to them. They already have a shape made. Just maybe give them a body part, turn them into a fish or something, put an eye on them. Beautiful stuff. Try to make walking sticks, clean them up a little bit. Got to take the bark off so the bugs don't get under it, and then I put mineral oil on them. My imagination runs wild just standing here looking at the resources. I was a telephone man for quite a long time. I was a linesman, loved wire, so over the years collecting wire, old copper wire, very nice. And it's right at our fingertips, that's the good part. When I think I'm running low, I just got to launch a boat and go back in the swamp and look around, driftwood for days. And I feel like it's going to waste out there, so I try to bring a little bit of it home every time I go. My family came from Bayou Chene, which was in the heart of the Atchafalaya Basin. That's where my dad was born, on a houseboat. My grandmother and all was born and raised. And people moved out like in the 50s or 60s, no way to stay out there and make a living. So I tried to model from the stories I always heard of the villages out there in the swamp. So I tried to turn these old buildings into that type of village. I have a great time every day, I really do. I'm very blessed to do what I want to do every day. Life is great. And it's pretty simple if you stop and think about it. You know, none of this costs money. It just takes a little affection for what you're doing, you know, and I love it. It's a passion. This is the old growth cypress from the old houses I tore down, the bead board. And if you see paint on it, I've never painted a board. That's old paint. Mostly I do it for tourism, just to show. I'm not real crazy about seeing how much I can sell. Never been about that. I just like making it. Look at that LSU bird house, made out of old cypress. And I love them because it lasts forever. So it makes me think I'm building a legacy, I guess. Making it out of great material. It'll be here long after I'm gone, hopefully. That's some of the driftwood from the old cypress out of the swamp. To me, this looks sort of like a elk or something. But it could be just whatever you could imagine. How about these little characters here? I was making all these fish. One day I said, well, I'm gonna try something different. So I turned my fish like this, and I started making little, I don't know what you call them. It's what just about everything was built with around here. In the old days, it was out of the old cypress. That's why I was able to get so much when the buildings started getting dilapidated or whatever they wanted to come down. I was glad to take them down. I sure do love what I do. I always did love what I do. I always worked hard and loved it. Now I don't work so hard and I really love it now. I get to do what I want to do every day and share it with people. So it's a wonderful thing. Really a wonderful thing.
The bald cypress was designated Louisiana's official state tree more than 50 years ago. It was chosen by fourth graders at Jefferson Terrace Elementary School in Baton Rouge. They selected the bald cypress because of its beauty and impact on Louisiana's history. The students, led by their teacher, Miss Juanita Summers, petitioned the Louisiana legislature to add bald cypress as Louisiana's official state tree, and that bill was drafted and passed in 1963. There's some handy trivia to hold on to in case you ever needed Louisiana Jeopardy. Still to come on TWILA, crawfish and karaoke in Northeast Louisiana. Sounds like a pretty good time to me. Stay with us.